Hi, Freddie had asked me about what are my views on about biking. Well, my lifestyle had really changed a lot. Like before I met Freddie, would like literally drive my car every day, everywhere. I didn't care how much gas cost. Back then, I really didn't care about how much of a distance it was. I would usually just drive wherever I wanted to go. And so when I met Freddie, life was like very different. Freddie was always putting down my car. He's like, you know, such a waste of insurance, such a waste of gas, such a waste of everything. All these maintenance, oil change and everything. And to me, it just never bothered me before, and it really did get me thinking. And so Freddie told me that he would never own a vehicle, but for me, I could never let go of my car. So eventually, after being married, having kids and everything, you know, I felt like we needed like a minivan. So eventually, when we got, well, my other car got in a car accident, so I got a minivan instead. So I thought it would be great that we could take the kids everywhere, because we have 4 kids, you know, and there's him and I, that's 6 people, and the minivan holds 7 seating. So I thought, oh, it could actually hold another spare person. But when we got the vehicle, it was different. We didn't really go anywhere with the minivan because we had 4 kids. They're all so little. It's so hard to go anywhere, and it's only 2 of us to take care of 4 kids. And so we didn't really go anywhere. What was more fun was that we had bike trailers. We first started up with the Instep brand, and the seatings were vinyl. There weren't firm seatings. So the vinyl kind, the heavier kid will actually make the lighter kid lean over, so they actually do sink in, and the seat belts weren't that sturdy or weren't very comfortable. They're like little clippers that kind of like rubbed against like their thigh and crotch area, so it was really uncomfortable for them. So we eventually just used it for groceries instead, and we upgraded to like a better quality, which is the Schwinn brand, which is like $325 each. They're like red and black. They're like the super coolest one on Amazon to buy. And so it's really cool. So we got those, and the kids love them. The seats are firm. They're like real seatings, and they recline back a little bit. So it's kind of like a little Cadillac or limo for the kids. And so they love it. So we got 2 of those. And so we actually spend more time with the kids biking than being in a vehicle. So we weren't really using the vehicle to a point that a full tank of gas actually lasted us for about up to 6 months. Can you believe it? 3 to 6 months. A full tank of gas lasts for 3 to 6 months. Because we never drive it, and we're just so athletic and riding our bikes everywhere. I ride my bike to work all the time, and when I visit certain family members or when I travel at several towns away, like there's a sponsor that sponsored my family. She is still living. She's 87 years old, and she's like my best friend, and we hang out a lot. Of course, I go visit her. I'm in Evanston, Illinois, and she's all the way in Northbrook, Illinois, which is several towns up north in the suburbs. And so I would ride my bike from Evanston here. I would bike 6.5 miles to the Metro train station at Morton Grove, Illinois. That's 6.5 miles away. So I bike there. I carry on my bike onto the train, and it'll be like a 15-minute train ride up to Northbrook City, and then I'll take my bike out, and I would ride my bike to her assisted living home, about another 2 to 2.5 miles. So I would do this once every 2 to 3 weeks that I can, or at least once a month I would go visit her. And we would have so much fun. I mean, I'm 32 years old right now, and she's 87 years old. People would always wonder, what is so fun to hang out with someone who's at such a huge age gap from one another? And I said, I don't know, she's so wonderful. I have so many great things to say about her. She appreciates everything. She lives a very simple life, which I enjoy living a simple life myself. And she just appreciates so much in every little thing that it makes me want to appreciate little things as well, and really see and realize things and enjoy it now. Like happiness is right in front of me, so enjoy that positive energy. And so, as a matter of fact, next week I'll be visiting her again. So I do that type of bike riding, round trip, once every 2 to 4 weeks or something. So another thing is biking to work, like I said, grocery shopping. Freddie takes the bike trailer and he goes to Dominic's, which is only like about 2.5 to 3 blocks away from our home. You know, instead of driving, he'll actually take the bike trailer 1 to 2 times a week, or once every 1.5 week to go grocery shopping. So it's great. We really don't need a car, actually, and it's to a point where the battery eventually drained out and died on us over and over, and so we just got tired of the battery situation for not ever driving it. We only drove it like once or twice a month, if even, and the hospital is only 3 to 4 blocks away, so we put the kids in a bike trailer and just bike them there. And in the wintertime, we usually skip the third oldest child. His birthday's in December, so we usually take him to his appointment like 2-3 months later, like February or March, you know, when the weather isn't so bad. Put him in a bike trailer and then take him to the hospital about 3.5 to 4 blocks away. So these little things in our environment, we live so close to everything, 2 to 3 blocks, the 4 blocks the most from everything, that we don't need a vehicle. You know, that's part of not having to live out in the country where you're like take an hour or 2 hours to get to the city to get things or do errands and stuff. But that's why we choose our jobs more wisely, where we just like, if we don't want to have to take the train or have to drive so far, we usually pick a job that's closer to home, although that does allow restrictions on your job search. So that really helps as well, because your life is controlled by a job, because that's what brings in income. Or you start up your own business where you select your location closer to home, so you don't have to commute so far to work, where you drive an hour or more to work. So you think about your time, your unpaid time, your gas, your insurance, the wear and tear on your vehicle. That all costs a lot of money and a lot of stress when your car breaks down, and you know, a lot of finances, a lot of money that gets invested into your vehicle that just gets depreciated in value and everything. So, any more thing to touch base on? Well, right now, my life, I learned to adapt. So last year when we sold the minivan, it was really hard to adapt without a vehicle, because sometimes people always say it's better to be safe than sorry to have a vehicle. Well, you know what, I could always call the taxi, or we can call a family member. Can I borrow your car so we could go do some errands or grocery shopping? But most of the time, Freddie and I don't really borrow anyone's car. Sometimes he would borrow his parents so we could go grocery shopping. Even we don't want to keep asking his parents to borrow their car. We would just like take the kids in a bike trailer and go grocery shopping, or we would stop by the park and I would go off and go grocery shop and get some items, and then Freddie would just watch the kids and I'll be back in less than 30 minutes, you know, to spend time with the kids at the park. So that's another way of doing things. So we kind of eliminated on borrowing people's cars and stuff, so because you know it's a burden and we don't want to get into any accidents either. So we kind of really changed our lifestyle to be more self-sufficient and to be more green to the environment. Instead of adding on to the traffic on the roadways, we just bike, you know, to the park, you know, bike to do errands. I rode my bike this morning to go deliver, to have 3 items mailed out, you know, some videos mailed out to my family. You know, instead of just driving or something, I just ride my bike to the post office. So that's great. You know, the post office is only like less than a mile away, which is really nice. Like I said, everything is so close to here that you don't need a vehicle.
The longest we biked is like 40 miles.
And the longest that we biked was about 40 miles.
With the kids.
With the 4 kids and the bike trailers. We commuted with bike from Evanston, Illinois to Glencoe City, Illinois, where the Botanical Center is, where the Chicago Botanical Center. It's really fun there, and the kids love it there as well. And so the round trip was about 40-mile bike ride. Wasn't it like 43 miles? No, it was 48 miles, wasn't it?
Yeah.
It was about 48 miles round trip, because we took the Forest Preserve down to all the way down to Toohey, and then all the way back up north, all the way up to Glencoe City, which is several cities up north. So that was a lot of fun and very tiring.
So I've been living without a vehicle for about 11 years, and Jenny's been almost.
I was getting used to it.
Yeah.
Well, I met Freddie since 2003, so now it's 2010, so that's 7 years ago. So about like pretty much like 5 years, I actually got used to the biking situation. So yeah.
Yeah, it took some time to get her used to it, you know, but eventually she got onto it, and now she enjoys it a lot. But it was hard, because she really liked to drive everywhere, and it took a few years for her to really catch on to this lifestyle. But now she loves it, and it's doing really good for her body.
Yeah.
And you see how she has 4 kids, and she still looks like she's in pretty good shape. And I think that has a lot to do with the bike riding and making that a part of her life. It takes a lot of discipline, because she would always say, "Oh, it's too hot."